Mic check. Mic check. Welcome everyone to a live stream of Internet Explorer End of Life. I'm just going to switch screens over to me. Hold on one sec. There we go. All right, this is kind of a talking head video. There's not much of a presentation with this. There's a few little things that I want to show on how to migrate things over for Internet Explorer, but most of the beginning of this is going to be that way. So if you want, you can pretty much minimize this window for right now if you were listening to this live, so that you could just listen to me, because it's not going to be much more different than what I'm reading off my notes here. I do have notes for this one, so because there's a lot of dates, there's a lot of specifics on programs that needed to be listed out correctly, and I don't want to make any mistakes on that because I have mistaken dates in the past, so we're not going to do that. All right, so if you haven't already read by the title, Internet Explorer is already gone. It is now been officially ended on June 15th, 2022 by Microsoft. So there are no more patches, there are no more security updates. The program itself will probably not work right going forward at this point. A lot of software has been updated to avoid this problem earlier, but if you haven't patched yet, I'm going to give a list of pretty much most of the software that you should be patching so you can avoid having any downtime on your applications that you may use every day. The long list that I have here, I'm going to post this probably also in the description so you guys have it, but most of, I would say all of almost every Intuit program, which is QuickBooks, ProSeries, they have a few more other programs that they use. All of their series have been updated with the newest version to support past Internet Explorer 11. But if you haven't updated, you may actually keep you logged out and you will not be able to update from the main program. You might have to use an alternate program that they have created, which is the Tools Hub, to be able to patch and update your QuickBooks or Intuit programs. I say Intuit because that's the main company. QuickBooks is like their software. ProSeries is also their software. In there, basically, you can update through Tools Hub, and I will list out all, again, I'm going to list out all the links below for the Tools Hub. I'm going to show you guys the Tools Hub so you can see what I'm talking about. It's not that hard to update. It just takes a few minutes, and you don't want to make a mistake on updating it, because if you update it wrong or if you go to reload, you may be in a worse situation where you won't be able to actually use that software. Now, if you're on the most newest version of QuickBooks or the newest version of ProSeries, I think ProSeries is still affected up to 2021, I think. So I don't think 2022 is actually affected if it's out already. 2019 is definitely affected. 2018 is definitely affected. So if you're an accountant and you're using any of those pieces of software, you'll definitely want to update right away. The other thing that we're going to also go over today is basically how to transfer from Internet Explorer to another browser like Chrome or Firefox, so that you can get an idea of, going from one browser to another. If you're still on Internet Explorer, you should be off of that. You could also go to Edge. Edge is another choice. But personally, I don't like Edge. It's just the same kind of horribleness that you get with Internet Explorer compared to the other browsers that are out there. The other browsers that are out there are, in my opinion, better. But you know, everybody likes their own browser, so you can choose in between either one. All of them are pretty much more security conscious than Internet Explorer 11 at this point. So moving over would be the better choice to go with, especially since it's not going to be supported by most websites and other issues like that going forward. We're gonna also go over how to transition from bookmarks from IE over to Firefox and Chrome, as well as any of your passwords. If you have passwords stored in your browser, you can transfer those over as well. I don't like to save my passwords in the browser just because it's a very low-end portion of security. I would rather use something like Bitwarden, which is cross-platform compatible as well as cross-device compatible. But if you're using the browser already and you just need to get all your passwords over, I'm going to show you how to do that. Also, some other pieces of hardware that might be affected are DVRs and NVRs. DVRs are like digital video recorders. NVRs is network video recorder. Some of those devices that record for like security cameras and stuff like that, that may actually be a problem if it only supports Internet Explorer and it doesn't support the new version of Chrome or Firefox or Edge. Edge does have an option to do compatibility mode for IE, just in case if you need to actually access that device before you can replace it or upgrade it. I'm also going to show you how to do that. It's not that difficult, but it's a crutch, and it's not a solution. The real solution is to make sure that the software is updated enough that it will work on a newer browser. That's the best way to put it. All right, I'm going to switch over here to my main system. Hopefully, if you just give me just 2 seconds, we're going to show basically how we can modify Edge. Let me switch back over to camera 3. Run it full screen. And put me in the corner there. There we go. All right, so let me get browser over here. And put that over here. There we go. Just give me 1 more second and we're going to get that link over. There's a link from Microsoft that really helps with the conversion process. And it also explains about some of the compatibility issues. In short, I'm not sure if you guys can read this. Hopefully you can read this. I'm going to make this a little bigger. A little bigger that way. All right. Basically, this is the official document from Microsoft stating that it's no longer supported. The end date is obviously now June 15th, 2022. That's a lot of time actually for Internet Explorer to stay around for. It is entirely end of life at this point. There is no more semi-annual channel updates. There's no updates at all. It's done. We do have a migration guide here. And, you know, in the migration guide, you can basically go through and there's basically different ways to set up guidance for transferring information over from Internet Explorer over to, you know, they're going to go over the items of going to Edge because obviously Edge is their next product. But you could also transfer going over to Chrome or Firefox. Chrome and Firefox both have import features that will allow you to import any settings from Internet Explorer over, including your favorites, your bookmarks. Well, the favorites and bookmarks are kind of the same thing. your passwords, and any other settings that you may have set. Maybe you might have put some extra settings in there. Some settings will transfer over, not like night and dark mode. I don't think Internet Explorer even had a dark mode. So, you know, that might be an upgrade if you're going to something like Chrome or Firefox. Where's my mouse? There, it's on this side. Okay, so yeah, they're basically explaining how to go through the overview of how to deploy it over to Edge. If you want to use Chrome or Firefox, that's what I'm going to go over to today. I'm not going to go over Edge because Edge is already pretty well explained here. And you really just follow going all the way through each piece, just one piece at a time, just if you want to go through Edge. It's really pretty easy for Edge. There's just a migration guide, and then you just literally go through it, including, you know, certain passwords and stuff get transferred over. Now, Edge has built in also another feature, which also is built into Chrome and Firefox. If you are storing your passwords and some other information in your browser, that's the time to review your passwords for your site as well. It will give you a security breakdown of if your passwords are too, I would say uncomplicated is really the word I'm looking for. If the password's not complicated enough or doesn't have enough characters or numbers, it'll give you a warning that your password's too simple and you probably should change it for that specific site. Now, another benefit about Firefox is that if you're on Firefox, it does go over a security audit of any sites that have been hacked also in the past, and it will tell you if those passwords have been hacked. Bitwarden does the same thing. If you don't like Bitwarden, there's also Dashlane or LastPass. Those also do the same thing. They all check your passwords to make sure that they haven't been pwned or attacked or had a problem in the past. So I would definitely recommend using some sort of password manager instead of using the Firefox or Chrome. It's not updated as much as Bitwarden, Dashlane, and LastPass. So I should really get over to the main points of this whole topic here. Let me go show you guys the Tools Hub from Intuit. Always make sure when you're Googling something, just make sure you're actually on Intuit's website. There's a lot of stuff that's not on there. So on here, you can download the Tools Hub. Sorry guys, I don't have a secondary mouse button because I'm using the trackpad here. All right, when you download the Tools Hub, you want to run that, and it's going to give you a little quick Tools Hub program. And what you're going to basically do is run a update through the advanced tools. And in the advanced tools, you're just going to select update, and that's it. It's pretty simple. After you load the program, I don't have Quickbooks on here. That's the reason why I just realized I'm not going to be able to run that. But when you run it, it will show you a breakdown of like what you need to update if you can't get into your program. If you can get into QuickBooks, then just run the update normally as you patch. You know, if you can log in, then just go and use the regular update feature. Make sure you're updated to the most current version. That's basically running through the help screen. So you just click on help and then about QuickBooks, and then there's a thing for update, or you could click on help and then just click update QuickBooks. That's another option, and that'll definitely run it. ProSeries is a little different. ProSeries, if you're in ProSeries, you can run it. It'll actually patch when you first open it. But if it doesn't let you in, then you're going to have to run the Tool Hub. And the Tool Hub for ProSeries is a little bit trickier. Where am I? Oh, I'm on this side. I hate these pop-ups, man. Anybody else hate pop-ups? I hate pop-ups. Should be banned. All right, ProSeries Tool Hub. When you install this, they basically have program problems. You can actually go over to update issues. So you would select update issues in here, which is right here. So when the program runs, you could just click on update issues, and then you would choose your version of ProSeries, hit update, let it run. That ProSeries Tools program is very slow. So it doesn't show you like a progress bar right off the bat. Just wait it out. Once it fully comes in and installs, then reboot your computer and rerun again, you know, all your ProSeries versions. Make sure that you update each one. You have to update one at a time with ProSeries. So it's a little tricky. If you have an NVR or a DVR that doesn't work, you could use Edge compatibility. I'm going to open up Edge. Let me just see if I can find it pretty quickly or if it's going to be a pain. Of course, it opened on the wrong screen. And I have these screens reversed. Here we go. Okay. Sorry, streaming computers, I didn't bother to set up too much. The Edge, there should be a setting. Actually, go right back to the directions, requirements. No. And of course, I should reference my notes. Okay. Yeah, it's actually, it says compatibility mode, but it's actually called Internet Explorer mode. So yeah, let's bring this back up. So we'll go to settings. Again, I'm going to put this in maybe we might actually make a blog post about this, because this may be a few more directions than what most people are going to get in descriptions. Settings, okay, and then we're going down to default browser. Where is default browser on this? Default browser. Okay, so it says allow sites to be reloaded in Internet Explorer mode. Now this says default. Default is no good, so you want to hit allow on this. If you change that to allow, it'll of course restart the browser. Once it restarts, it's now in Edge compatibility mode. Now, I don't know why they call this Edge compatibility mode when it's really Internet Explorer mode. So again, another weird thing for Microsoft. But once you set allow to that, that should allow you to open up your DVR or NVR in Edge, and allow you to view everything that you need to view within Edge. Again, this is kind of a band-aid to a real problem. So the real solution is to still fix the code so that it works on a newer browser instead of using the older browser's functionality. That might be a little bit difficult to do, especially if it's hardware related, like a DVR or an NVR, where you have a hardware piece that may no longer be supported by that manufacturer. If that's the case, it needs to be replaced. It is considered a security risk. It should, even if you do this, it allows you to view your DVR or NVR, you really should replace it because it is a security risk. It's not being updated and patched. It is not being looked at or fixed at that point. If you have that type of DVR or NVR system, it's probably really old. You're talking, but security systems, they don't really change them very often. So, you know, this may be a big possibility. If you're one of our clients, you definitely don't have this. You don't have to worry about that. Or if you have had anything set up by us directly, you wouldn't have this issue if it was set up by us. If it was set up by a different computer company, you may want to check with them, or you may want to contact the manufacturer of that product to find out if it's still supported. If it's past its support date, it should be replaced. especially if it's a security device. You know, if you're recording cameras of all different natures, if that goes down, it's going to be a bad day, and you probably won't even know that it's down. Some people don't even know if they're not really checking it every day. So this is something that should be checked. So we went over ProSeries, we went over QuickBooks. To do a migration, it's not that difficult. If you're on Internet Explorer 11, if I just bring up Internet Explorer 11, you could still bring it up, by the way. The app still runs on Windows, but it's going to give you a little warning that you should probably switch to Edge, is what they're going to tell you. At this point, yeah, it's even asking to load Adobe. I mean, you know, we're not going to do that. But I rarely ever use, I don't think I've ever used Edge unless there's a real, I mean, Internet Explorer 11 for a long time at this point. But if you need to export your bookmarks or your favorites, you can go to, actually I think it's under favorites. Yeah. Oh, actually no, I'm sorry. This is not the way you would do it. You would normally do, see, I should be sticking to the notes. The long story short here, to do this, you would actually go to your new browser. You would leave your current browser open just so that it's, you know, double check to make sure your bookmarks are here. Let me bookmark something so we can actually bring it over. Let's bookmark Bing. Add to favorites. They don't call it bookmarks, they call it favorites, but it's the same thing. Add to favorites. All right, so that's in there. And just close your Internet Explorer. And what you want to do when you're on your, now this would be on your new browser. You would be going into your new browser and you'll be going into your import options for that browser. So let me just grab the directions with the way they say it. Go exactly as they go. So yeah, basically you would manage your bookmarks. Manage your bookmarks. I got a lot of bookmarks, so this is going to be a real mess, but you can import directly. I'm not going to go through all my bookmarks here, but you'd say other book. Now you choose what folder you want to go into. I'm just going to leave it on other bookmarks because I don't want to actually import these. But you would choose the folder that you want all your bookmarks to go into. You could select all bookmarks if you are just going to import everything, and that's what I would recommend. So at that point, you could just hit import, and you can import bookmarks from either HTML. If you have that available, great. If you don't, you want to import data from another browser. If you're going from IE, you can just say from another browser, and you can just choose Microsoft Internet Explorer. You would hit next, and you would choose what items you want to bring over. I didn't save any passwords, but this is the same spot where it would bring in your saved logins and passwords. Chrome is kind of the same process. Edge is a little bit easier because Edge will detect that you've used Internet Explorer 11, and it should automatically prompt you. But again, you can always go to your bookmarks area or your favorites and add them back in there. I think Edge still calls them favorites, so you would just use the favorites bar and do the same thing. You would import from that browser and select it in. In this case, it's going to import cookies, browsing history. I wouldn't recommend the cookies. I would uncheck cookies. You're just going to have a problem with that. Cookies are not really cross-browser compliant, and you could just recreate the cookies over time. Plus, you don't need ad tracking, so it's better off to take that crap out. So just take the cookies out. I would only use maybe browsing history, your saved logins, your favorites, and that's all I would really import over. I wouldn't go more than that. Any other settings and stuff, sometimes settings show up here. I wouldn't check off the settings option either. I would try to redo the settings in Firefox or Chrome, so at least it's set correctly and you don't have to worry about it being brought over in an improper manner. So after you hit next, and I'm not going to do next because obviously I don't want to import all these cookies. So, and I don't want to import all these browsing history and all this. I don't need all that garbage in my normal browser. But when you go through, it will automatically import everything and it'll throw it into whatever folder you're currently selected on. So if I was on other bookmarks, it would bring everything to other bookmarks. Actually, we could do that. We could just do that. Just to show an example, we could do yeah, favorites, but no logins, no browsing history. So there's nothing there anyway, but I just don't want to junk it up. And those favorites, did it go to all bookmarks? It went to bookmarks menu. All right. I mean, that's Firefox for you. I put it into the wrong folder, but it would have been nice for it to ask, but that's okay. So it puts it into the main one. That's okay. I mean, at least it comes over and you can still keep it. We don't want Firefox either. And after you've imported everything, you should just make sure it's all there. You can click on the bookmarks, go through them one at a time, and you know, run them one at a time if you want to. If you brought over passwords, you want to check the passwords area. Go to settings, you go to privacy and security, and you can go to save logins right there. That's under Firefox. That will basically give you all the logins that basically are saved within your browser. Mine's unchecked because I have Bitwarden, so there's no need for that. But you could save your logins there. Once you go in there, you'll be able to view all your logins. If they're all listed, great. If they're not in there, then you may want to repeat the process until it shows up. After you have your passwords in there, I would recommend that you have a computer password set for your computer as well, because if you don't, then anyone that's in front of your computer can export your passwords without any type of confirmation password. So in other words, if someone's in front of your machine, they can just literally hit save logins on your browser and hit export, and they can export it to a flash drive or something like that in clear text, which is really bad. That's another reason why I don't like using the browser, because it doesn't give you it doesn't tell you that you should be blocking, and having a separate login for your computer. Now, if you have a login for your computer, it will not allow that to happen. It'll ask you for the password for the computer before it goes forward. There are ways around that still, so that again is not 100% secure, but the average person will not be able to do that. So if they are in front of your machine, you're pretty much compromised as it is, but it'll be pretty bad if they're able to do that. There's also other programs that can actually go in there and scrape that too from the browser. It's not encrypted really, so I would recommend you probably switch to an actual password manager like Bitwarden, Dashlane, LastPass. Any one of those is really good. Bitwarden, I think, is free. Well, the free version is mostly good enough for most people. Yeah. So Bitwarden. Personal. Oh, they like to always try to sell you something. Go back to personal. Yeah, okay, so the personal one is free. So you can get unlimited passwords, unlimited devices, all the core functions, always free. The only problem is it doesn't give you 2FA. Not everybody wants to do 2FA. So two-factor authentication, that's a whole nother process in itself. But they're really cheap too. So you're talking $10 billed annually. I mean, we're not talking that much anyway. So, and it protects all of your passwords and keeps everything, and across multiple devices, which is nice. So definitely want to do that. I'm getting off topic, like usual. For NVRs and DVRs, what you're going to have to look up, if you have any of these devices, you're going to have to go to the manufacturer that's that NVR or DVR. They have so many different brands and products. Just to name a few that I know are going to have problems, Night Owl is going to be one of them. The old ones, because the old Night Owls DVR recorders, they used Internet Explorer only. As well as, what's the other one? Lorax is pretty bad too. Lorax, their software doesn't get updated on Mac very often. So if you have a Mac and Lorax, it's not a good solution. If you have Lorax though on a PC, you should be able to not have to use Internet Explorer. You'll just have to download the newest version for it. They are still supporting that. And there was another company that is not in my notes and not on my mind, but there's a lot of DVR companies that only support Internet Explorer. So again, check with your manufacturer. The manufacturer will definitely give you a breakdown of if it supports the newer browsers, if it needs updating and patching, if it also needs to be either changed or swapped out. Again, you could still use the compatibility mode, but it's a band-aid. It'll just get you in that one time. You should really look at replacing the product at that point. We need to all move on and move up sometimes. All right, that is about it for moving over to the browser. It's really easy. The transition should be really quick and easy, but you know, if you need more help, I'm gonna, after I re-upload this later this evening, it will be in the description with all the breakdowns of all the links that I have here that will help you. I'm also gonna probably write a blog post for the directions on how to migrate everything over, unless I can simplify it in the description. And this stream was a little short today, but that's really all we have for this topic. I'm not sure how many people we have in chat. If there's anybody who has questions, I'm willing to take some questions. No one's written anything in chat. Very quiet chat today. Okay, that's all right. So yeah, I'm going to put all the rest of the information in the description. And, you know, if you're really having a problem, and if you're one of our customers especially, give us a call. Don't even bother to try to do this yourself. We can do this for you. If you're not one of our customers, you can still call us, but you know, we will try to help you as much as we can by giving you information. But again, you know, it depends on the level of support that you need. Or we'll give you at least a starting direction to go for. Yeah, and that's about it for today. It's a real short one. Please like and subscribe. You know, do all the YouTube magic stuff you guys do. And I will see you in the next stream. Have a great day.